Looky here, our rock star is in the house. Tamia, how are you?
Yeah, rubber.
There you go. How was
How
breakfast?
you doing? Good morning.
Shame, shame, shame. You forgot it was Father's Day. Yeah, we won't tell anybody.
I made up for that thanks to you.
Good morning, young lady. How are you?
And how are you?
Good, honey, good. Making little biscuits and gravy as we proceed on this endeavor.
Biscuits and gravy?
You know it.
Lord, I haven't had biscuits and gravy in a long time.
Oh, man, I just kind of keep it that way. I like it. Then I just crush my water, you know.
Oh, my Lord. But that sounds good. I can still make it, but I mean, that was like a everyday thing growing up in South Carolina.
Right now it's a treat, you know. I'm making myself for Father's Day.
Yeah, even KFC got biscuits now, but they done messed it up. They got these cinnamon bun biscuits.
No. For what?
Yeah, cinnamon bun biscuits.
Yikes.
So what did the kids make for Dad this morning for breakfast, Tamia?
Well, my daughter actually prepared breakfast.
Bless her heart.
Yes, yeah, wasn't that nice? Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
like,
thank you so much for coming in here with us this morning, Tamia. And,
well, I'm glad
we're gonna
here.
Yeah, we're gonna get the show off and rocking, so you can get busy with going and hanging out with your lesser half and have a great day with it. And
I like the way you put that. I'll use that I'll use that on stage in San Diego. My lesser half.
I love it. I introduced my wife.
I don't know how that's
better 99%.
Oh,
she really is. She's way better than I am. That's for sure. And so I would say that women are way better than men. They need to quit trying to make themselves equal to us because they're far, far superior. And
well, they're way smarter. They're way smarter and way better looking. I can give them that.
Amen. So, all right, kids. Well, happy Father's Day to everybody. We are the Strong Family, and we are here today to continue our mission. We have this really simple mission. We just want to change the world. And there's a lot of people out there who might think that that's kind of a crazy goal, but the truth of the matter is it's happening. It's happening every single day, and we are fortunate enough and graced enough to be able to watch it happen, and not only watch it happen, but make it happen. And Sean, how is it that we're going about changing the world?
One hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, absolutely hydrating glass of common water, 9.5 at a time. Thank you kindly.
Amen, buddy. And one lightning bolt in a box, one incredible guest, and one amazing family at a time. And so today, kids, we have Tamia Williams. There's actually a couple of other names in there, but I'm gonna try not to embarrass myself by trying to say what they are. But
no, man, you gotta drop that. You gotta bring it, man. Tamia, Bathia, Sharonette, Cologne, Williams, brother. I might have got the order wrong.
That's awesome.
He said Sharonette, just right. Ooh, I hate that middle name.
What? No, it's an awesome name.
Oh, yeah, all right. Well, my mother gave it to me. Yeah, that's how it was. Sharon.
Because she loved you.
Net, or Let, or Lynn, or Faye. I just got the net.
We're just going to call her Angel for short.
Yeah.
So Tamia, where are you located?
I'm in, right now, I'm in Colmac, New York, which is Long Island. And that was pretty much like, you know, it's very similar to where I was born and raised. I get to see deer, raccoons. I get to see squirrels, horses, you know, a bunch of rabbits all over the place. That's what I love. So I'm not located in the concrete jungle. I am actually in a place that reminds me a lot of where I grew up, where I was born and raised in South Carolina. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I love being able to be out there in the nature. You know, the big city's never really been my thing, so that's exciting to see that you get to be in that area. But we're going to just fire this right off. I have a question that I like to find out about all the people that come in here as guests, because this is always intriguing to me. I like to ask, how, when, and why did you get involved with Kangen Water? And also, were you a skeptic like I was?
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah, I probably was the biggest one of them all. I got started with Kangen Water back in 2006. It's been 13 years now. Yeah, 2006. And the reason why it got my attention is because I'm a mother. I have 3 children, 3 grandchildren. And when I got started, you know, I just had 3 children. My grandchildren, I call them all Kangen babies. But I share this with you, and I try to be as brief as I can, because it is a bit of a long story. I was born and raised in South Carolina, and my grandmother raised 21 children, okay, 11 of her own, and 10 of her brothers and sisters, because her mother died when she was young. And so my mother died when I was 7 years old, and my father was incarcerated for double murder when I was 9 years old. And so I had no mother and no father. And my grandmother, after raising all these children, now she had this grandbaby that her baby child had, that's pretty much don't have anybody to take care of her, which was me. And so I watched my grandmother struggle. I watched her work very, very hard. I could see that she was tired after doing all that she did for so many years. And so I decided that, you know, because I'm an only child, no brothers, no sisters, because my mother died pregnant in her tubes of ectopic pregnancy. And so what it is I decided I'm going to do it a little different. I knew I didn't want to just have one child, because I knew it was very lonely growing up by myself. And so I wanted to have 2 or 3, but I was going to do it different. I wasn't going to be pregnant every year. I was going to have one and then wait 4 years, have another one, because I knew what it was like going into high school and then going into college and having to pay tuition. And so I figured if I have them 4 years apart, I'd be able to handle the tuition. But something happened in my life. I have a son, Damien Jr., who I waited 4 years after having Siobhan. I waited to get pregnant with him as I planned, but he lost oxygen at birth. And even though we were all born in houses in South Carolina, all of my grandmother's children and all of her brothers and sisters were born in houses. No epidurals, no medication. They just had to bear with it and have those babies. I was in a hospital, so I had no thoughts of anything ever going wrong. Well, it did, okay? When I got there, I only had 1 centimeter of water left inside of my womb. My son was struggling to be born. They had to use forceps to remove him from my body. To this day, he has like ripples inside of his head, like across his head, from the contraction squeezing the life out of him. He barely made it. And so Damien was predicted to never walk, never talk, never feed himself, never go to the bathroom. They said he would be dependent on me for the rest of his life. And he was in diapers. He was 11 years old. And you know, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy finding a babysitter. It wasn't easy even having family members watch him. They said we would watch Siobhan, we won't watch him. And so when I heard about this technology, I said, yeah, right. Because I had been to every doctor, every therapist, every neurologist, every ear, nose, and throat doctor. I mean, I tried everything. What is wrong? Let's do something. Oxygen chambers, this product, that product. And it's just like I wasn't making any leeway. And so when I found out about this water, I said to myself, you got to be kidding me. Water, where I come from, South Carolina, water's water. I mean, we primed the pump. The water came out. We drank the water. We used the women. Water was water. And so when she told me about this Japanese technology, the first thing I thought is, you've been had. Those Japanese people got you, and they're not going to get me. You know, I said, something wrong here. Something's definitely wrong. And so I finally went over and I saw a demonstration. And it was so simple that even a child could understand. And when I saw this demo, I said, wow, you mean to tell me all of these different waters I had been giving my son, the soda I had been giving my son, the sports drinks I had been giving my son was all acidic? You got to be kidding me. And so I decided, even though I was over 200 pounds at the time, I decided, well, this is not for me, but it is for my son. And I started giving him the water, and I started noticing things, but I didn't want to give the water credit because I felt like maybe it's just all in my head. But whereas before he learned everything through repetition, all of a sudden now I was telling him, go get your shoes, and he would bring me the same 2 shoes. Where before I would get a sock and a boot, or a sneaker and one of my shoes. He was trying, but it just wasn't clicking. And so all of a sudden I would say, Damien, go turn the light off downstairs. He would go downstairs and I noticed the light is off. Damien, go in the bathroom, flush the toilet. He would go and I would hear the toilet flush. Things like that, which was a big deal for him prior to. And then the more I started to dig into this technology and the information, the more I began to understand why this was happening. And so the word Kangen, it means to return back to origin. And so I began to study this. And so I said, well, back to origin, that means when we were inside of the womb of our moms. And so when I began to investigate, I said, wow, this is genius, because we were developed in alkaline fluid. The amniotic fluid that a baby is formed in is alkaline. And so our hearts develop in this fluid. Our liver, our lungs, our eyes, our nose, I mean, even a little bit of hair that we come out with, it developed in this alkaline fluid. And then babies come out with blue eyes, green eyes, all in this alkaline fluid. And then when the baby comes out of the mother and they put the baby close to the mother's breast, it's like the baby automatically recognizes the scent and the taste of this breast milk. And they latch on. Some are too tired to latch on because, being born is just as bad as giving birth, And we don't talk about that part of it, but when that baby comes out, that baby's tired. And so sometimes we have to tap underneath the chin, or we have to tap the cheek, and the baby will latch on and start to nurse. And that milk is also alkaline. And so we think, I thought that this technology was new. I thought that the concept was new, but it really isn't. All the Japanese did, all the Russians did, is they found a way to duplicate nature in the form of technology, because somebody knew that there was going to come a time when water was going to become so contaminated that it was going to start to make us sick. And that is exactly what has happened. The water has started to make us sick. 14,000 people die every single day worldwide from waterborne illnesses. And 11,000 are children under the age of 5 years old. Now, if that's not a hint or a clue, I don't know what to tell you. And so when I realized that this was really, really helping my son's body to heal itself, and when I realized that it was helping my body to heal itself, I said, this is the missing link. I'm 75% water. And so if I get this part right, if I just get this part right, then maybe everything else will start to work right. And so I've been on board for 13 years. I have not looked back because what I've learned is water is a universal language. It doesn't matter what airplane you get on. It doesn't matter what country you go to. It doesn't matter what planet, what planet you go on. Let me tell you something. Water is going to always be H2O. It's just what kind are we putting inside of our bodies. So I am an ambassador. I'm on a mission to get this out to the world as fast as I can. But meanwhile, I'm drinking it as fast as I can as well. I drink about 2 of these. This is a half a gallon. I drink about 2 of these every single day. And I've managed to drop now in just a little over 2 months, an extra 30 pounds, because I made a commitment to really, really, not only just talk about it, but allow my talk to also be congruent with my walk. Because so many people have this technology, but they're not consuming the best water in the world, And so that is how That is why, and that is when.
That is awesome. And, you know, it's interesting because, you know, like yesterday we had Janine on, and she was a skeptic for over 20 years.
Mhm. Yeah.
And, you know, we have a lot of skeptics out there that we have to try and educate and that we have to deal with. And sometimes we take a lot of abuse for that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's pretty cool. Like my brother Sean here says, we actually have a company here that we can, not only do we not have to apologize for, but we can actually be very proud of. And we, you know, we have something special here. We have something that literally changes lives. And so it's really exciting to be part of that process. I know I wasted 6 perfectly good Kong months of my life. And by the way, I got to set you straight on something. That little beautiful lady that's inside that machine, she says, Kong and water, 9.5. Kong and water, 8.5. She doesn't say Kang and water, 9.5.
Right, you're right. That's the southern dialect. Kangan. It just sounds better. Kangan. Like Asian. You know? It just sounds better, but it is Kangan. You got that right. Kangan water, 9.5.
Amen. So yeah, that's a really neat story to hear how you managed to get involved. And, you know, for me, telling stories around here is a really important part of the component, because that's what got me involved. It was, you know, all the technical stuff that kept coming across the Facebook page from my buddy Tim. None of that stuff even registered in my brain cell. But the day that fateful story came across the line, that made me hit see more for the first time. And that little story changed my life forever. And so that's part of the reason why I'm trying to share stories, because I believe that there's a lot of people like me out there that they don't really care about any of the technical stuff, but when they hear somebody's amazing story, they all of a sudden wake up and then they're interested in the technicalities. And so that's why my next question is always along this line, and that, you know, you being involved with this for 13 years, I would imagine that you have seen all kinds of amazing stories of how this water has helped people by giving their body what it needs. We always have to make sure at this point that we reiterate to people and emphasize that this isn't a cure. It's not magic. It's not a miracle. The miracle is this thing right here. This amazing machine that God gave us. This thing is the most amazing machine in the world, and it's designed to heal itself. All Kong and water is an incredible gift from God and Mr. Oshiro that gives our body the tool that it needs, the main tool, so that it can become its own mechanic. So I want to make sure that people understand that are going to hear this. And so my next question to you is, what kind of stories do you have to tell that over all these years? I'd imagine there's quite a few things that have really touched your heart and your soul. And do you have any couple, 2 or 3 really special stories to tell?
Oh yeah. I mean, I got tons of those, but let me just share this with you. This is huge, because one of the things I didn't do is I didn't tell you the progress that Damien had. My son, who lost oxygen at birth. And as you heard me say, the doctors predicted that he wouldn't be able to do a whole lot of things. I watched my son age out of his program. Damien no longer wears diapers. Damien walks, he talks, he feeds himself. He can open the car door, get inside, put his seatbelt on, take his seatbelt off, open the car door, get out. He walks outside by himself to get on his bus because he goes to a day program every day. He has the nerve now to have a girlfriend, which is, I told him he ain't ready for that. Because even though he goes to the bathroom by himself, he doesn't wipe himself. We have to still help him with that part of it. But now you're going to bring a girlfriend, now I got to wipe her too? I don't think so. So we're not there yet. So he just dates her when he goes to program. I know I see Sean laughing. You understand. He dates her when he goes to program, and then the date is off when he comes home. So Damien's come a long, long way. A long way. I know for me, I tell you, I was 268 pounds But I tell people all the time, I was a big woman, but I wasn't big and ugly. I was big and good looking. And there is a difference. You understand? There's a difference.
Big difference. Yeah, that's a difference.
South Carolina, I was a big one. All right? But I'm telling you, all of a sudden, when I started to drink the water, it's like not only did I lose waist, I lost waist. My WAIST and WASTE. I was only going to the bathroom maybe twice a week, and I thought that was normal. But I was eating like 6 meals a day. And so all of this was turning into fat in my body. I was borderline high blood pressure, borderline diabetes, borderline high cholesterol. I mean, you name it, borderline this, borderline that. I was just right at the line. I just never crossed it because I was actually privileged to start drinking this water as well. When I noticed what was happening with my son, I decided to start giving it to my body as well. And so because I was formed in it, because I drank it as a baby, my body understood it. And so what I learned is that when you give the body what the body understands, the body can do with it what it understands. The same way when you give the body what it does not understand, the body will do with it what it understands, which is put it to the side. It'll store it in your liver, it'll store it in your lung, whatever, it'll store it in your kidneys. All of a sudden now you got too much protein in your body and your kidneys are not working the way they need to work and they're slowly shutting down, all kinds of things. And so there's so many stories. There's stories out there of people becoming financially free. And I can tell you about myself. I was at a place in my life where chicken gizzards was my main meal. My kids got tired of eating chicken gizzards, but listen, that's what it was. You know, I was a person that would go to the gas station and ask them to give me 50 cents worth of gas. I wasn't ashamed. I was that lady that you didn't want to be behind sometimes in the grocery store because I would come in with all of my change and I would pour it out because that's what I had. That's all I had. I had the change. I separate the dimes from the nickels, from the pennies, and somebody behind me is like, oh my God. And it's like, listen, you should have got here early. It's not my business. I'm going to buy my chicken gizzards, my 1 potato, and my 1 onion. And I remember going through those times. I remember my Ford Tempo, and I couldn't get in on the driver's side because it didn't open. It was mashed in. I had to get in on the passenger side. I lived in a storefront apartment where sometimes the light would work in the hallway, and it must have been about 30 steps I had to walk up with my son, who was not even walking. And so, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. And so financially, I was in a bad place in my life where sometimes my lights would get cut off. Sometimes my phone would get cut off one way. I shopped in thrift stores. I did what I had to do. And I never, ever got food stamps. Never, ever got social services. And it wasn't because of me being too proud, but it was just that I knew that I could do something to better myself. And I didn't want to go that way because I saw so many people getting comfortable with that life. You know, they were dependent on that. And I just didn't want that. I didn't want that. So I knew there had to be a way. There had to be a better way. And so I started making cakes. I started baking pies. When I had extra money, I would make cakes and make pies, and I would sell it by the slice after church on Sunday. Or then people started ordering the whole cake and ordering the whole pie. And so now I would take that money and buy more sweet potatoes and and buy more ingredients. And then I started going to the wholesalers and buying stockings from the wholesalers and buying barrettes. And I would sell those things and make a profit. And so things got better. And then when I heard about about Enagic and the compensation part of it, I said, okay, maybe it will work. And so I started sharing the water. People started drinking the water, and they started coming back for more water. And they started coming back for more water. And then sometimes they wouldn't bring a gallon bottle. They would bring a 5-gallon bottle. And I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm thinking, listen here, you got to be kidding me right now. Because I wrote a check to get started in this thing that I didn't have the money in the account. So it was nothing but God. I'm telling you, that allowed that check to go through. I don't know to this day 13 years later, I still don't understand why Bank of America let that check go through. But that check went through. It was not returned, and I got my machine with a down payment that was not even in the account. I don't understand it. I'm not trying to understand it. There's sometimes these things just happen out of the blue because you're doing everything you can. And I just believe it was a blessing in disguise. But to God be the glory, bottom line. So at the end of the day, let me tell you something. I got that. I started baking those cakes. I started baking those pies. I started selling those barrettes and selling stockings. People started coming to my house, taking advantage of my machine, bringing 5-gallon bottles. And then I didn't know what to tell them because I didn't understand the technology. All I knew was it worked. I didn't understand the compensation plan because I never looked at it. And I kept sending them to my sponsor. And you know what she did? She signed them up under my ID number. And then I started getting these checks that I was like, what in the world? Is God trying to tell me something? I was a 4A, and then I started doing this business. I didn't even know what I was. But she had put all these people underneath me, and that's the reason why I'm a 6A 12, because all the people she put underneath me, she put them front line so she could get the bonuses, you know? But they all turned out to be 6As because they just decided, I'm going to do this. And so when I finally came up for air, I had already made over $1 million. Now you go from getting not $50, 50 cents in your tank, and you tell the guy, listen, don't go over because all I have is 50 cents. So don't make it 51 because I don't have another penny. And you go to the grocery store with a bunch of change, and you're digging in your coat pockets, and you're digging in your jean pockets, and you're looking for money, and it's like the money's always there. Money's was always there somewhere behind a couch, in a coat, in a pair of jeans, always there for me to get just enough to buy a loaf of bread. I always borrowed a cup of rice from my neighbor, Brother Henderson. I remember him just saying, here's the rice. And I would give him whatever I had. I give him a plate of whatever I cooked. I give to him. But he always loaned me. I probably owe him about a 20-pound bag of rice over the years. That's how much rice he would loan me. But that's just how he was from the South, and I'm from the South. And I felt comfortable asking him for a cup of rice, you know? And he would always give it to me. And so the thing about it is, it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't. And that's the reason why, even though I am where I am in my life right now, you don't see me posting cars. Well, and this is not to take away from anybody that's doing that. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you do. I just like my life simple. I'm not into the big houses and the luxury cars, and I'm not into, you know, the $5,000 suits, and I'm just not into that. I'm just thankful that I have been blessed to a point where I can serve other people now freely, and I can give back. I can give back. Sometimes it's in the form of money. Sometimes it's in the form of time. Sometimes it's in the form of education. I just do what I can do, and I just don't talk about it because it's really not me that's doing it. It's the God in me that's using me for His glory to do what it is that He's blessed me with. And so that's just how I look at it. I'm Tamia, you know, just simple Tamia. That's who I am. And I always ask the Lord to keep me humble, to not let me ever forget where I came from as a little girl, from the time I was a little girl, picking cucumbers, working in the tobacco fields, you know, shelling peas. I remember I used to hate when my grandmother would bring them bushel of peas in there. I have to open up them peas and with my fingernail pull them peas out, and oh God, and making sausage and putting it in there, and with the intestines and making sausage and have to hang it up. All that stuff I can do. I remember with the chickens, have to go catch the chicken, wring the neck, put it in the hot water, pull all the feathers off, then have to gut it, and all those things I used to do. And so I have not forgotten that. And I don't want to ever forget that, because I know as I travel the world and as I travel at different places in the United States, I meet people who look like they got it going on. And when they pull me to the side and they talk to me, I feel their pain. They're struggling financially. They're struggling with their health. They don't care about what I have and how much money I made last month. That's irrelevant to them because it's not coming in their pocket. They're not going to be able to spend a night. I would allow them to spend a night in my house, but I'm saying They don't care about how many bedrooms I have and what kind of cars. They don't care. They want to know, what can you tell me to help me get to the next level? And so that's why this is so important to me. It's to help those who really want help, and they're out there and they need help. It's our job to really serve those people. It is. So when we arrive, we should remember where we came from. And so that's important to me.
Amen. That's it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful, and that's inspiring. I love it when guests come on here and bring tears to my eyes. It's wonderful. It makes me realize how blessed I am to be able to have people like you that have that type of attitude, and it's incredible and wonderful and inspiring. And the one thing I'd love it if you would kind of reiterate on, because we all know that one of the biggest obstacles we face in this journey is people who say, I can't afford it. That's too much money, whatever. You touched on something about coming up with your down payment. And I can imagine, just listening to what your story is, that was probably a rather difficult investment for you to come up with. And, perhaps you might have something to say to those people out there who can't afford it, because the humble backgrounds that you come from and what you're talking about with the amount of money that you had and what you did to make money. I'd appreciate it, I should say, if you would reiterate a little bit further on that. What did you actually go through? What sacrifices did you make? How did you make it happen? Maybe this might be something that gets somebody else going, oh, hold on, maybe I can afford it. Maybe I can make it work.
Let me just say this to those people that are out there that are saying, that might be thinking this way. Let me say this to you. I learned this from Napoleon Hill. And then there's the Raymond Charles Barker. A few of them, I have said this, I heard them say this. There's three things that successful people have in common, and all of us are successful, whether you think you are or not. You are successful because you are here. And the fact that you actually won your first race. You won, all of us here, we won our first race. I'm just glad that none of y'all was in the running when I was trying to get to the egg. You follow me? I'm glad I didn't have to compete with none of y'all, because I don't know. All of us won our first race, so we are all champions by right. We are champions, we are winners. And so you were sent here. You're here for a reason. And sometimes we don't understand what that reason is. And we learn later on in life what it is. And so when you don't know and you feel a pull inside of you to move forward, that's a hint that you're going in the right direction. There's three things that all of us have in common. Okay? And even though you may not think so right now, you have this in you. The first thing is we are able, we are willing, we are capable of making a decision. You have to decide that this is what I want. That's the first part. The first part is just deciding, okay, you know what? You don't think about the money. Don't think about how am I going to build the business. Leave all that out of it. Just decide, I am going to get this machine. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know who, but I'm going to get it. That's it. That's the first step. Make a decision. The second one is, when you make that decision, I want you to put on this feeling of expectation that it's going to happen. Just start to believe that it's going to happen. See it sitting on your countertop. See the mailman or see UPS delivering this box. You got to make the decision with expectation. Not only do I want it, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. Let me tell you something. There's something about making a decision. When you make a decision about something, it's like I made a decision when I went through a horrible divorce, and that was, maybe 11, 12 years ago. especially when my son came on the earth, because some parents can deal with it, some parents can't deal with it. And I'm not here to knock my children's father. I was married to him for 20 years. He was an amazing man and still is an amazing man. It's just that we had some differences, and we parted ways. And I remember not choosing my husband this time. I remember allowing the Creator to do that for me. And so I wrote down what I wanted in a partner, and I forgot about it. I made a decision that I was going to get married again, and I made a decision that it was going to happen. And I wrote down what I wanted, either that or something better still. And it just so happened out of the blue, when I was least thinking about it, not even thinking, matter of fact, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like sitting there, but I made a decision, and he appeared, and I knew who he was when he showed up. I knew him. I just knew him. And then we just started hanging out and whatnot. And then all of a sudden we started to do the business together, and we're spending so much time together. And next thing you know, he asked me to marry him. And I was ready from the day I met him. He just didn't know it. I was ready from the day I met him. And we've been married, and that's why I'm going from Cologne to Mrs. Williams. And so a lot has changed in my life. And so, like I was saying, I made a decision. You make a decision. Don't worry about the how, and that's not our business. That's up to God. We're so busy trying to figure it out before it's time to figure it out. And so once you made a decision, and you made that decision with expectation, the next thing you got to do is you got to take action. You got to take action. So many people are afraid to do the paperwork. Do the paperwork. Go ahead and fill out the order forms. Fill out the W-9. Fill out the return policy as though you are going to get it, as though you have already gotten it. And watch what happens. If you really want it. Now, if you don't want it, then you don't want it. But I don't know who would not want this technology, especially with the way things are going right now with tap water. I live in Long Island, and it was on the news last week that Long Island has the worst water in all of New York. In all of New York, Long Island, where I live, where it is not that heavily populated. Worst water in all of New York. Every other person that comes inside of this water store here in Comac have cancer. That's not, we say it's a disease, but what it really is it's dis-ease. It is your body saying, I am too acidic, help me. That's all it's saying. I am too acidic, help me. It's crying out to be serviced. The same way, if you don't get it all changed, you see how your engine will cry to be serviced. You follow me? I learned that the hard way. Yeah, only took one to blow up on me one time, and that was it. I get all changed faithful now. And so, to make a long story short, guys, that's it. If you want it, and you know you do, decide I'm going to get it. Make a decision. You know what? I'm going to get that machine. And then see it. You know, and I know this is not a religious call, but I have to say this because all of these books, if I show you my library, all these books is ridiculous. All these books that I have, all they do is they go right back to the Bible, and they take scriptures from Psalms and Proverbs. They'll get a story from Matthew, Luke, John, James, and they'll put it in there, and then they make money off of it. When if we just pick it up and just start to flip through, we start to see some things that's in these books. It's clear. The Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Which leads me to believe that thoughts do become things. And now scientists are putting it out there. Thoughts really do become things. So whatever you focus on, you will get. Eventually, you will get. And notice, everything is created twice. First in thought, then in material, then in things. So the chair that I'm sitting on right now, the laptop that I'm using to communicate with you, the internet, it was once a thought first, then it became a thing. Bottles, it was a thought, then it became a thing. Glasses, a thought, then a thing. This machine becomes a thought. I'm going to get it. Then it becomes a thing. But you have to do the work. Say I'm going to get it, know you're going to get it, and act like you already got the money to get it. Fill out the paperwork and watch what happens. That's what I did. That's what I did. And I still can't explain how the payment went through. I don't understand it. I ain't trying to understand it. Maybe somebody put some money in my account, didn't tell me to this day. They made me, I don't know. You know, sometimes Tony and I do that. We could be driving through some place and we'll give the person extra money. We put this towards that person's order, give them the change. Sometimes I'm called to do these things. I just do it. I don't talk about it. I just do it. I just do it. Sometimes the stories are so emotional that I'll share it. Like, for example, I'll give you a story. I remember Tony and I, we were at a Chick-fil-A, and I saw this family, and they just looked like they were struggling, you know. And I remember what that felt like. And they were having this party. It was the grandmother, the grandfather, the mother, the father, and I think the brother was there, and this little girl was there. And they took out this chocolate Edmonds donut, and they put it on this little thing, and they put a candle in it, and they were singing happy birthday to her. And she was so excited to have this chocolate Edmonds donut. And I looked at Tony. He said, "Oh, what do you think?" And I said, I feel like I just need to do something. I feel like I need to do something, you know. And so I told him, just give me some money, you know. And so he gave me some money, and I went over there, and I said, I don't know why, but I just want to do something. I said, do you mind if I share something with her? And the grandmother said, oh, of course, yeah. And so I gave her what Tony gave me. I put it in her little hands, and oh my God, she started screaming, I'm going to Walmart. I want to go to Walmart. I want to go to Walmart. And her mother and her father, the tears just started coming down their eyes. And it was such a good feeling to see this little girl. But the thing about it is, she didn't really, that's not what made it so special. What made it special for me is she was sitting there with this donut, and she was so excited. And it's like you see some of these kids today, and you give them a donut and they slap it out of your hand. It's like they got so much until they don't appreciate anything. And so when you have these opportunities to be a blessing to somebody, I mean, why not, right? And so that's the only thing I can think of that happened with me. Somebody blessed me. And I don't know who it is. They probably looking in my face every day, and they didn't even tell me that they did it. It might have been my sponsor. I don't know. But all I know is that it happened. And as a result of somebody sowing it, actually paying it forward in my life, I'm sure they're reaping tremendous rewards. And I am reaping rewards. And I will never forget. I will never forget. And that's the reason why I've done that too with people in my organization. And they have gone on, they have soared. I think about Reggie Powell, who was a 6'8", 10-3. Look at him now. Look at him now. He didn't have it either. A lot of people didn't have it, but they took a chance. They took a chance on themselves, because we all know deep down inside that we are winners. We are champions. Every last one of you that are listening, you are champions. And like I said, I'm glad I didn't have to race against you, because I might have didn't make it. I'm glad whoever I had to race against, I'm glad that they were slower than me. But I made it. We all made it. And so let's do something with it.
Man, you are so inspiring. Wow, this is awesome. Once again, thank you so much for coming here today. Wow. I wanted to just real quickly from the live side over on the Con Family page, one of the people that's in there listening, I kind of put out a thing asking them. I said, hey, anybody has any questions for Tamia, just, type them in right here and I'll ask her. And Austin asked, he said, he's wondering if you first had anxiety when starting the water.
I still have anxiety sometimes. I ain't perfect. I mean, please, sometimes I still have, but but on a real serious note, because I had gone through so much, and I remember having contemplated suicide on a number of occasions. Because I'm like, I was going through that horrible divorce, and I felt that my mother died, left me when I was 7 years old, and my father was incarcerated. My kids would be okay. They didn't need me. I just started thinking all kinds of thoughts because I was tired of struggling at one time. I was really, really just tired of it. I was tired of it. And so when I got started in Enagic, it's like when I started generating this income, I didn't really have time to have anxiety. I was so busy doing the business, I didn't have time. But then life started to happen again. Life started to happen again. Things happen. Things will come up. People in your organization that you thought you wanted in your organization, they come in your organization and it's like, oh God, how can I get rid of this person? Woo, why won't they go away? You know, because it's like there's so much drama. And you just have to realize that these things, they come into our lives for a reason. And if we don't grow through it, we're going to keep going through it. And so I look at every experience now as, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? What can I learn from being treated this way? What can I learn from this conversation? What can I learn from this experience? What can I learn from it? And if we're always looking for the lesson, we will always find the blessing. But so many of us, we're still in that, that victim phase. That victim, oh, they're doing this to me. This is happening to me. And as long as you're in that phase, you're going to always have anxiety. I was on every antidepressant you could think about and or imagine. Every one you could think about. I'm telling you. And to the point where it was making me like a zombie. Like I was like, oh, I wasn't Tamia. My energy wasn't the same because everything was about me. I'm the victim. This person don't like me. Oh, this lady, I opened the door for her and she didn't say thank you and all of this kind of stuff. No. And so I had to change my thinking. My daughter said to me the other day, she says, Mom, I let this person in and they didn't say thank you. I said, well, why did you let them in? If you're driving, why did you let them in? Did you let them in so that they could worship you? They could say thank you or give you a thumbs up or raise their hand. Or did you let them in because it was the right thing to do? That applies to every area of our lives. If I open the door for somebody and they walk through and they don't say thank you, that's not my business. I did my part. Okay. And so if they don't want to say thank you, I don't take it personal because it's not about me. It's not about me. I am an instrument. We are all instruments. And so, anxiety will come, but what do you do with it? How you handle it will determine how it will affect you. And so ask, what is the lesson? What can I learn from what's going on right now? What can I learn from it? If people that are wanting to go to San Diego that are saying, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I got people buying tickets. They don't even have a hotel room. They said they're going to get dressed in the bathroom. They said they're going to wash up in the bathroom. They said they're going to do whatever they got to do. Some of them are driving 40 hours to get there. They don't even know how they just, I'm using my credit card or whatever. I'm saying to myself, man, you get out there in the woods and they only take cash. What you going to do? But it's like, I'll figure it out. It's going to happen. I have faith. They're doing it. But then there's others who sit back and say, I don't have it. And if you're feeling like you really don't have it, ask yourself, what is the lesson in this? Maybe if I not going to McDonald's 5 days last week, maybe if I would have not gotten my nails done, maybe if I would not have gotten my hair done, maybe if I would have just not gotten that expensive car and have to pay that expensive note, or maybe if I would have got a 1-bedroom instead of a 2, maybe I would have saved some money. Instead of looking on the outside and blaming everybody else, maybe we need to take a look on the inside and see what we can do, what we can learn, how we can get better by focusing on things that really, 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 really could really impact our lives the next time around. And that's the bottom line. So anxiety had to come. Please. Are you kidding me? It will show up all the time. But it comes up to be released and to be replaced with positive things.
Awesome. I hope that answers your question, Austin. And, I think you're going to really love this one, Tamia.
All right.
Karen says, you just gave me an idea, Tamia. Thank you. I need a down payment too. And so, yeah, that's some pretty powerful stuff. And, you're just being here, you're already starting the process of changing more people's lives. And so that's just incredible. What an awesome thing it is to have you here today. I'm so grateful. And, so at this point, I would like to take a minute and open up to the panel of people that are here. Sean and Thomas and Roger and oh, Jiminy, I'm losing my brain. And Paul,
Thomas,
if anybody has any questions for Tamia right now that they'd like to bring up, why don't you go ahead and fire them out, fire away.
Hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
How about you, Wetz? You got anything to say?
We love you, Tamia.
I love you too.
I can't wait to see you again.
I can't wait to see y'all either. I can't.
That'd be awesome.
At least I jump on you. I won't knock you down this time. I'm 30.
No, listen, man, I've been blessed enough to see this gal around the country, mostly on the west side. I ain't really messed with anything on the East Coast. But I had the pleasure, most recently we were out in Tacoma a few years back. And I still watch your trainings, sister. I swear to goodness, man. I still watch your trainings, getting up there and just slapping people in the mouth with the truth, but with love. You know, it's crazy. Your style, your sincerity, your compassion, and just you're a bulldog for it, man. You know what you're up to, and you know what you're going for, and you're going and getting it, man. And you're bringing people with you. I just think that's phenomenal, man. And that's the essence of true leadership, man, is how many people you bring with you. So, yeah, I ain't really got any questions. I just got none but praise. I know you'll deflect to the good Lord, but, yeah, I'm really thankful we got somebody like you that just tackles everything you do as you do with grace and purpose. And, yeah, ain't no nonsense about you, man. And that's just one of the things I think that separates you from a lot of people. Not a lot of fluff, not a lot of, silliness. It's just straight up hit you in the mouth with the truth, but with a big hug right behind it. That's what's awesome about you, my friend.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, yeah. And it's funny, you talk about, losing 30 pounds and stuff. You're going to be jumping out of that booth in San Diego like Hong Kong Phooey. Ships out.
Oh, me. I tell you.
Awesome. So does anybody else have anything that they'd like to comment? Or Thomas, you got anything you want to say there, brother?
But I do.
Oh, Roger. Rip, buddy.
Yeah, it was nice to see you all, and that's a very interesting story. Nice to meet you guys. I enjoyed listening to it. Thank you.
And so who's that beautiful lady over there?
That's my girlfriend, Carla.
Carol, hi.
You.
Nice to meet you.
Maybe she have to comment about her story. So I will make her telling her.
Wow.
My story, what?
Go ahead.
Well, actually, since I started using more Kangen water, my period cramps are almost gone. Like
it's 12 o'clock.
It's different, totally different story, right? So I'm proud. I'm happy that I got to know Kangen now. So, yeah.
Wow. Amazing. Well, I tell you, this Kangen water is something else. Something happened to me that was unbelievable. I got pregnant on my own at 48 years old. That was 2 years.
Wow.
48. So be careful. I'm just telling you. Tell all your friends that's in their late 40s and 50s. Yeah, but I miscarried it. But the thing about it is the fact that they were shocked. They were shocked. Yeah.
Okay.
No infertility, nothing. I was shocked too. I'm like, what's going on here? But but yeah. Mm-hmm. So I tell you, it will set things in balance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she had to have a prescription before. Now Advil one time that does it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Good for you.
Thank you. And that's just the beginning, right? I'm just using Kangen for a couple months.
Yeah, just the beginning. It only takes 3 months because the red blood cells they turn over like every 120 days, I think it is. Yeah, and the white blood cells every year. And so as you're consistent with drinking the water, you're going to see a difference within 4 months. Yeah, you will see a difference.
Okay, thanks. Awesome.
Awesome sauce, kids. Thanks for that. So Tamia, we're going to move on to the next little question here. This is kind of sometimes when people come on, they ask, what kind of questions are you going to ask me? And I tell them what questions I'm going to ask, but I never tell them this one. because this one's my favorite question, and I don't want people to have a chance to really think about it. They got to come up with it off the cuff, because that's how we roll around here. All this is just from the heart, from the soul. We don't edit anything or anything like that. I want it to be just totally authentic. And so my question to you is this. You've got somebody out there that is maybe on the fence as far as being interested or not interested, whatever, and you've got one thing that you can say to them that's going to make or break it one way or the other, whether they're going to go that way or that way. What is that one thing that you're going to hit them with?
What are you going to drink? What are you going to drink moving forward? Because my thing is, after I have done all that I can do, I have built value like nobody's business. You've seen the tomatoes, you've seen oil emulsify, you've seen how this hydrates your body. You understand that the chlorine is no longer there, and I've done my job. What are you going to drink? And they say, well, I don't know. And I said, well, when do you want to get your machine? When do you want to get it? They usually give me a date of when they're going. I can have the down payment, or I can have the payment in 2 weeks. Okay, great. So let's do the order form right now. Let's put the date on top of the order form that you're going to get your machine, and I will service you until that date. And then we're going to submit your application with your down payment, and then you'll have your machine. But I'm going to help you up until the time you're going to get that machine. Nobody never says, well, I'm going to get mine in 2023, because I'm not servicing them for how many years? 4 years? I mean, come on. And so I have them make a commitment. I'm making a commitment. They're making a commitment. And then what I want from them also is, while I'm giving them water, I want them to share testimony, written testimony with me. So I can put it inside of my testimonial book. And so it can be testimonials on their brushing their teeth. I may give them a little bit of water to wash the load of clothes with. So they're learning the different parts of how to do this, how to use the machine. And so while we're on this journey, I'm taking them through this until that date. And then that, they're like, oh my God, only 1 more week. We're going to be going to get your machine. We're going to be putting an application in. And so the question is, what are you going to drink? What are you going to drink? And this most of the time is, I don't know. I was hoping you could help me. Okay, well, you're in luck. Fill out the paperwork and let's get that date. And then I will service you until that date. And that's it. That's fair. It's something called even fair exchange. And so I'm doing for you, and you're making a commitment as well. And so, because people pay attention when it's time to pay. That's the reason why you have some events you charge $1 for. And it's because they pay $1, they expect them to get a good event. But you have free events and people show up late, they don't come, they're like, no big deal. But when people pay, for some reason, even if it's just a little bit, they pay attention. And so that is their way of giving back. They're giving the testimonies, I'm giving the water, we have the order form, we're both in agreement, this is the date, that's it. And so they don't have to suffer with worrying about the kind of water that they're gonna drink. Yeah.
I love that concept. That's I'm learning all kinds of stuff from you this morning that's going to help me out a lot. I know that. And that's one of the things I'm so grateful for with being able to do this, is that every single guest that comes on here teaches me something. And it's something that's being recorded and is going to go on to the Kong Family Show Facebook or YouTube channel. It's going to be available for people to watch for days, weeks, months, and years to come. And so it's just all part of the process that we're going through, changing the world. It is happening. We are going to do it. That's all there is to it, right? And so you've pretty much given us a tremendous amount of information. And now I would like to, because today's a busy day for people. It's a special day, and so we don't want to take too much of your time today. And I want to give you an opportunity, because one of the big things for me here is I'm trying to unite people. I'm trying to get people who resonate with each other together so that they can work with each other. Because somebody might not be interested in working with me, but they might want to work with you, Tamia. And if that's the case, I want them to work with you. I want people who want to work together to work together. And then I want to help them however I can. And so with that said, I like to give the guests the opportunity towards the end of every show to give out whatever kind of contact information that they feel comfortable giving out, whether that's Facebook or anything like that, or you've got a website or something you'd like to give out to people so they can get a hold of you. And then also like to give this little disclaimer to everybody, because this is kind of one of my big pet peeves when it comes to Facebook, is I'm sick and tired of getting friend requests from people, and all they do is send me a friend request. They don't tell me why. They don't tell me how they found me. And, you know, and so I got 100 and some odd, however many people that I still haven't accepted their friend request, because I got to ask them why. And so if you're going to send a friend request to me, or you're going to send her an email, or you're going to send her an Instagram request or anything like that, whatever, please do her the common courtesy of telling her why. Tell her why you're sending that request and how you met her, whatever, so that she knows a little bit about who you are. Because the simple fact of the matter is there's a lot of scammers out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there in Facebook land, and I'm trying to do my best in that regard to cut that off at the knees. And so, you know, with all that said, Tamia, what kind of contact information, if any, would you like to give people so that they can get a hold of you if they would like to down the road?
Well, first, let me say this. One of the things that I want the listeners to know is that I will work with anybody. You know, it doesn't matter whatever team they're on or whatever. And you guys are doing a phenomenal job with doing this. They can sign up with either one of you guys, and I will still work with them. I will still help them. And so even though I do sell machines, you know, I'm real busy, real busy. But they can feel free to follow me on my fan page, because sometimes I'll go live, and I do lives, which is at Coach Tamia. I don't have any more room for friend requests on my Facebook. And so at Coach Tamia, they can actually follow me there, and they'll see me go live. I'm doing a Zoom on tomorrow night. Yeah, at 6 o'clock with a demo. And then I'm also doing Tuesday Talking to You on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so, like I said, they can find me on Coach Tamia, which is my my fan page, and they can connect with me there. But I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. They can sign up with any one of you guys on here today, which I would prefer. You guys are doing a great job, and you're growing your businesses, and I will help them in any way that I can, because that's just me, you know. So that's it. Okay.
Love it. You know, yeah. That's kind of how we are. You know, like Sean and I, we've been working together for about a year, and we're not in the same group, same downline. You know, we always say we're not on the same squad, but we're in the same league. And so we love working together, and we're actually going to be going down to San Diego together this next week, and really looking forward to getting to see you again. And you know, I've actually seen you twice in Las Vegas the last 2 years, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again, and this time getting to give you a real hug.
Exactly.
So
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask? Is there anything that Tamia said that stimulated something in one of your brain cells and you'd like to ask it or comment on it?
Do you got a sister?
I done told you I'm an only child. It's just me.
I know. I'm just playing, honey. I'm just playing. Hey, you bringing my man Tony to San Diego?
He just came in here right now. Come on, come say hi.
Big fella in the house. Yeah. It's your long, lanky white boy from Montana saying, "What's up?" Hey, my man. Good to see you, brother. God bless you. Happy Father's Day, big fella. You bet, man. Happy Father's Day. Look forward to seeing you kids out in the San Diego scene next week.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. That'd be cool.
Nothing wrong.
Yes. Happy Father's Day, Tony. That's fantastic. Looking forward to it. And thanks for everything you do for your sweetie. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, Tamia, gosh, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I know I got to read you this other comment that just came in on the live side. It said, She says, that is amazing. I have several people on the fence. This is a really great way to push them off. Thank you so much. That's from Karen. And, you know, so yeah, you've already dropped a bunch of golden nuggets on people that are really gonna help a lot. And this is gonna be on the Kong family page for forever, and people can check it out later on down the road. People can promote this. It's gonna be up on the YouTube channel, and I'll be sharing it out onto Facebook and sending you a link for it if you want to do anything with it and let people see this and, you know, get a handle on what we're trying to do around here. Because
you're not trying, you're doing it.
Yeah, when we say every day, I start the show off the same way and I end it the same way, and that is, we are the Kong family. And I consider anybody who has a Kangen water machine part of the family. Anybody that's trying to get a Kangen water machine is part of the family. Anybody who's got a goal to get a Kangen water machine is part of the family. And we're here to help them. And we don't care which group they're in, what line they're in, how much money they make. We don't care about any of that. We just want to help change the world, because that's our goal. We are going to change the world. It is happening. And as usual, hey, Sean, once again, how is it that we're going about that again?
1 glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturating, absolutely hydrating Kangen 9.5 at a time.
Amen, brother. And 1 lightning bolt in a box, 1 incredible guest, and 1 amazing family at a time. And so, with all that said, Tamia, thank you once again so much from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of all of our hearts. I'm sure I speak for everybody here that this has really been a tremendous blessing today to have you take time out of this special day and your precious time. I'm quite sure that you're busy as all get out, running around doing what you're doing. And so we really appreciate you taking some of your time to help us out and to come and introduce yourself and tell us your story. What a powerful story. And like I always say, I love it when the guests make me cry. And you did a good job of that today. So thank you once again. And to everybody out there, happy Father's Day. Make it an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the great weekend. And of course, do not put your hearts, kids.
Love you. Hey, man, listen, JJ. We got to drop a happy birthday on this blonde bomber up here in Canada. It's Rodgar's birthday today.
It is Roger's birthday. Hey, let's rock it, huh?
Happy birthday, my man.
To you.
Oh, you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rodgar. Happy birthday to you. All right. That's my Don Pardo voice. Tell them what they've won, Don. You've won a lifetime supply of Twinkies. I like singing happy birthday in my Don Pardo voice.
Good job, man. Thank you.
All right, giddy up. God bless you, Tamia. Thank you, young lady. You're beautiful. Appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you out there on the West Coast, my friend, and Godspeed in the meanwhile.
Yeah, safe travels getting out there to us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks, Tamia.
Mwah, thank you.
Change the world, starting with your own.
Right.
Word.